Let's continue the reading, right? Nagarjuna's six perfections. Response not so, for vigor continues on unabated. One cannot employ worldliness and make comparisons about the vigor of the Bodhisattva. Indeed, it is just as the digging of a well. If one's strength is only his life, then one remains unable to find water. It's not the case that there is no water. If there is no water in this place, then it certainly does exist somewhere else. It is also just as when one has some place to which one is going. One must certainly continue seeking Buddhahood until one has successfully reached it. Even once one reaches Buddhahood, one does not indulge in any weariness. One never tires of teaching people. It's on this basis that one speaks of his such ability. Moreover, the vigor of the Bodhisattva entails determination and aspiration, which are immense and vast. He vows to cross the run over to liberation. This even though beings are inexhaustible in number, therefore the vigor itself must be also inexhaustible. When you claim that once one has expanded forth in carrying out of an endeavor, it ought to be allowed to come to an end. This is incorrect. Although one eventually succeeds in reaching Buddhahood, because even then beings have not yet been brought to an end, one still should not rest. This is analogous to the characteristic nature of fire, which is not, if not extinguished, never grows cold. The vigor of the Bodhisattva is just like this. So long as he has not yet crossed on over into liberation involving cessation, he refrains from resting. It is for this reason that the eternal cultivation of zeal and vigor are qualities contained among the 18 dharmas exclusive to a Buddha. Furthermore, as stated in the sutra, it is by resort to the dharma of non-abiding that the Bodhisattva abides in the present paramita. Thus, he does not allow his cultivation of vigor to diminish, and this vigor practiced by the Bodhisattva is still not that of a Buddha. Examples of the unremitting nature of the Bodhisattva's vigor. Furthermore, so long as the Bodhisattva has not yet gained a realization of the path of the Bodhisattva, he continues to employ that body subject to birth and death in providing those fine things which he endeavors to bestow on beings. It may be that, contrary to what might be expected, beings not only do not respond in kind, they go so far as to afflict him with circumstances which are not good. For instance, there may be beings who, when Bodhisattva praise their fine qualities, they proceed in contrary fashion to besmirch his reputation and heap abuse upon him. It may also be that even though the Bodhisattva may be respectful and reverential to beings, they nonetheless respond by acting in such a contrary fashion that they slight him and treat him with condescension. There may also be times when, although the Bodhisattva remains motivated by kindness in his mindfulness of others, still they counter this by seeking out his faults and plotting to do him harm. In spite of all this, these beings are nonetheless equally bereft of any power whereby they might visit torment on the Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva has brought forth a great vow with respect to these beings. When again the path to Buddhahood must cross on over to liberation, even these beings who belong to the class of the most evil among evil. Even in the midst of all this evil, his mind still does not become indolent. Consequently, he continues to bring forth the mind of great kindness. In doing so, he is like the lovingly kind mother who feels pity for her son in illness, who is beset with worry about him, who continues to remain mindful of him, and who never forsakes him. Characteristic features such as these are emblematic of that vigor in which the Bodhisattva engages. Moreover, when one practices the paramita of giving, all sorts of beggars come from the 10 directions, seeking things and making demands. Even that which they should not demand, they nonetheless come and demand while also demanding those things which one loves most intensely. They say to the Bodhisattva, give me both of your eyes, give me your head, brain, bones, marrow, wife, and son, which you love so dearly, and also give me all extremely valuable precious juice. Those beggars forcefully demand such difficult to relinquish things as these. Nonetheless, his mind does not move, and neither misery nor hatred arise in him in response to the circumstance. The mind which induces views or doubts does not develop in him. He proceeds to make such gifts single-mindedly and for the sake of realization, realizing the path to Buddhahood. Thus, in his action, he is comparable to the Mount Sumeru, which, when the four directions wind blows, cannot be moved by then. All sorts of characteristic features such as these are emblematic of the Paraparamita vigor. Furthermore, the vigor of the Bodhisattva is universally active throughout his practice of the other 5 paramitas. It is this which constitutes the paramita of vigor.